Good morning, people. Good morning out there. Yes, good morning, everyone. This is Spirit Journey. Good morning. Yes, today is Sunday. Hello, Sunday morning. And the date is 7/24, 2022. And the time is just after 7. It's about 7:04 a.m. Yes, it's going to be another scorcher here in New York City. Yes, already about 80 degrees, 79, 80 degrees already. Yep. And I decided to stay in today. Well, at least I'm not going outside right now. Yeah, be too hot. Yeah, I went out with the dogs the other day, yesterday, and boy, was it hot. I mean, just going outside, um, just exiting outside, I felt the heat immediately. So now it doesn't matter leaving the place early in the morning. It's just, it's hot. Yeah, just fixing the camera. Yeah, it's like, the humidity is unreal. Unreal. Yes, to be about, in the 90s again. And, yeah, my little dogs, uh, my two girls, they didn't want to walk. And if it's going to be too hot, I mean, if they're not going to get a walk, I mean, my little boy was pretty good. He likes outdoors, but the girls, yeah, yeah, for trying to get the Shih Tzu to walk is unreal. And now Lily, the Havanese, she's been acting this way now for about a month. I take her out the stroller once I get to the park, and she jumps in back in the stroller immediate. Honey, I don't want to fight it. So sometimes I like carry her, but yeah, it's too hot now. So anyway, what I want to talk about today, yeah, three things I want to talk about. Uh, I have a song request. Well, to find out a name of a song. Yeah, I had to call up some place. You know, when you call up a company, they might put you on hold, and then they have a song, music or whatever. I really liked it. So I'm going to play part of it. And I'm hoping that we might have like people who know it's like a Brazilian jazz piece. And I did get this phone app named that called Music ID. It couldn't ID it, so it's not something that's really popular. It sounds foreign. It sounds like a Brazilian piece, um, that type of tune, a very Afro something tune, all instrumental guitar, acoustic guitar. It sounds fantastic. And when I heard the song, I said, "This is beautiful. I gotta get it." And then I want to talk about, I'm gonna um, get a DNA test. Um, I mean, I've already done one, but I'm going to do this other type that I want to talk to you about. And then I want to talk about this woman I met in Central Park yesterday, a jogger, and she I forget exactly how we started the conversation. It could have been the heat or something, but we just started chatting. I just crossed this street and that intersection near, on 72nd Street, and we just started talking. And she had traveled overseas. And so I wanted to share with you about certain types of people who go overseas. It just, I think I might have talked about something like this before, but it just really, I just wanted to, more like a warning to people, black people, African people, people who are living in Africa, to be wary about certain things. Not necessarily about her. I don't want to put disparaging things on her, but that what is being perceived, what could be being perceived, and for your awareness. Okay. So let me start from the beginning. Yeah, I'm not holding the tablet with my bare hands. It gets like, I'm trying to position it. Yeah, I have my little teddy bear holding up the camera. Okay. Trying to get it, trying to prop it up. Okay, this, uh, sorry about that. Yeah, the tablet gets hot. It gets very, very hot. And I don't want I was concerned about my hands. I had the hand in the area where I think it's the battery, and it starts to get real hot. So let me see. Sorry. Yeah, I want you to at least see some of the window. Yeah, I don't want to hold the tablet directly. So yeah, I heard this song about 2 days ago. Let me turn on my phone here. Yeah, just turning on the phone. Yeah, I heard a tune that I loved. Very, very nice tune. So if anybody knows it, I'm sure there's some music enthusiasts, and maybe you might have another app different than mine. Yeah, my phone, like I tried this one phone app to identify music that's playing in the background, and it couldn't pick. It didn't. It didn't do it. Oh, okay. I remember what I'm gonna do. Okay, and get the camera. I was going to put on the app to identify the music. I meant to press. I meant to press the audio thing. The song itself. Okay, let me press on that. Okay, I think it's this one here. Okay, let me turn. Oops. Come on. I'm just turning. Okay. So here I go. Let me turn the other one. Isn't that nice? Okay. Okay. Now, wasn't that a great beat, boy? Wow, I loved it. I loved that beat. So I hope when you guys come on and hear the song, you'll be able to identify that music. I love that. Yeah, I was playing it over and over again. And when I was put when the person on the phone came on, because I was put on hold, And that was the, hey, good morning, viewer. Good morning. How you doing out there? Did you just hear the song? I was just playing a little clip of music out there. Let me know. I hope you guys can hear me. Yes. Did you hear this song, viewer? I was just playing this. It sounds like a Brazilian jazz acoustic. Did you hear the song? Let me. I'll play it now again. Yeah, I gotta find out the name of the song because I want to get it. I want to get it. Okay, I have to set it up again. Oops. Here it goes. Do you recognize this? Isn't that nice? Yeah, that's all I play. Now, isn't that a great tune? I'm trying to identify the song. I want to get that piece. I hope you can hear me. Yeah, I want to get that particular piece of music. I did download a music ID app, but it could not identify it. So I gather, maybe it's an old piece. Again, it sounds very foreign. It sounds Afro-Brazilian. Definitely African origin. The type of syncopation and all that. I like it, and when I heard it, it made me feel happy. I felt it's a happy, cheerful song. So name that tune. Name that tune. People might who come back on this live stream. Yeah, let me know. Let me know what that piece is, and I'll probably play it again towards the end of the clip. So I got that out the way when I wanted to talk about. Yeah, I wanted to name that tune, who plays it, so I can buy it. And the other update, um, I will be taking the African DNA test. Yes, you heard me right. I didn't. I was kind of grumpy about it for a while, but I got inspired to actually take the African DNA company. Um, yeah, I was inspired by this Afro-Colombian lady that I was watching on YouTube. Yeah, the African DNA company has a website. I mean, has a YouTube channel, and I just so happened to you know watch it, and they have a few videos on their channel, and I watched a couple of them, and one of them in particular was of this young woman from Colombia, and she is uh, like a news presenter. And yeah, she's a news presenter. She comes on, I think, television in Colombia, and she's a black woman, of black, of African heritage, and she decided for herself that she's going to be natural. She's going to have a natural texture here, and the pride that she had, and that she has in herself, and her African ancestry, and um, the company African DNA contacted her and did her DNA. and they talked a little bit about her life and everything. It was very, very exciting. And I mean, I've seen that company before, and I had a lot of reservations about the company, and I didn't feel comfortable with the one of the co-founders of the organization. Yeah, I learned about them a couple of years back actually, but I was inspired by the lady. Sorry, I was inspired. Let me lift it up. Sorry. Yeah, the tablet gets. Oops. The tablet gets hot, so I was sorry. Yeah, the tablet that I'm recording from gets very hot, and I was concerned about my fingers, you know. So I just lifted up. It's just kept on moving. So anyway, I was so excited about the lady's testimony, the Afro-Colombian lady. Yeah, I've met Colombians before, and it's you know I well, um, some things were uh, showed their biases, and so it's really refreshing to see um, black Hispanics, or they were Afro Latinos or Afro Hispanics who embrace they don't try to hide their blackness or their Africanness, and it really encouraged me. Um, and I guess my interest also in visiting Africa and living there, not just visiting, but actually living, relocating to Africa from the U.S. And my curiosity got the best of me after watching the interview with the Colombian woman, and I said, just go for it, because some of the for those of you who don't know, um, some West African countries, if if you specifically take African DNA companies' DNA tests, that they would give you citizenship. Yeah, I know one of them was Sierra Leone does it, and Ghana specifically that I recall that has that program. Yeah, Ghana started the something of return. I forget the, the phrase, but it's a policy that the country has started since 2019. If I said 1990, I meant to say 2019. In 2019, they passed an agreement that year of return. It's called the year of return. Under the year of return, um, if you can prove your African DNA um, of that region, you see, African DNA Company, what's a little different with that company, African DNA, um, uh, they test your mitochondrial DNA. Your mitochondrial DNA is DNA that is passed on from mother onto child, both male and both daughter and son. The son cannot pass on the mitochondrial DNA. Okay, so uh, so if you have a mom and you have sibling, boys and girls, siblings, you can take a test to know your mother's mitochondrial DNA, and they trace, they allegedly trace uh, what tribe, what country, and what tribe your mitochondrial signature, if I can say, where it's associated from. So, so the so if you take it, and if those two countries, if it pops up positive for that country, Ghana or Sierra Leone, um, you could get citizenship in that country. Yeah, just an FYI. And I thought, as a backup, this was my reasoning also that had me do it. Now I already did my DNA 13 years ago. Yeah, I did the mitochondrial DNA, but it was with a different company. I did family tree DNA, and they have the mitochondrial, and it indicates the haplogroup, haploid or haploid group. It's like a signature of um, what area it's found in. But they do not give what tribe. They do share um, where it's popular. It's a very old, my mitochondrial DNA is 60,000 years old. So it's an old one, mine. And yeah, its origins is actually springs from the East Africa, and then they migrated to West Africa. And it is popular in Gabon, that area, the West African country of Gabon, and around there. But it's a very popular, mitochondrial DNA for African people of African ancestry. You know, what else? Yeah, so yeah, I did that, and then I did the other component of it using, still using family tree DNA, and let's see, they do like percentages of ethnic group, regions, so it'll say maybe 8% of that country, 15 of that, 30 something of that, like that. So, yeah, so the bulk of my African DNA is on the, West Africa, between the countries between Sierra Leone and Nigeria. It seems like everybody has Nigerian in them. Yeah. Yeah, that Nigeria. It's really something with Nigeria. I mean, virtually everyone that's in the Americas, black people that are living in the Americas have Nigerian ancestry. And I had gone out with this guy. I met him at a party, and yeah, he was a real big, real tall Nigerian, real big boned, and he was telling me that his own grandfather said that uh, black people in America weren't brought here as slaves. Could you believe that? He said, "Oh, black people came here by choice." Now, how could his grandfather, and this was over 30 years ago, he told me this. All, in Nigeria, they have those slave things. Yeah, they have those ports where the slaves were taken from, where they were shipped out from. So shame on his father to pass on that lie. Yeah, so yeah, people who are, uh, well, let me not say the word lie, who are grossly mistaken. I mean, it's all throughout the West Coast. Those ports, those slave ports. Oh yeah, they know about it. So yeah, oh, so what's the point of making that? Yeah, so a lot of people have Nigeria, and so I wanted to find out. I said, let me just try it. So I put my purchase in it, and yes, I ordered for express mail, so I should get it tomorrow sometime, the kit. So I'm gonna do my DNA. Yeah, I want to do the DNA thing. And it takes a while. I think it takes about up to 8 weeks. That's 2 months. It takes a while. Yeah, it was $299, which I think is a lot. Yeah, the other companies are cheaper. I mean, here, I think they're overpriced personally because they're only measuring like suppose there's a sandwich. Okay, let me explain it. Like, okay, what African DNA is doing. Okay, if you have a sandwich, you have the bread, the two pieces of bread, and then you have the filling inside. You got the meat inside, or you got the lettuce and the tomato, all that stuff inside. They're only focusing on the bread and not even examining what type of filling you have. Um, the bread could be a really thin piece of bread. You may not even have a thick piece of bread. And what do I mean by that as an analogy? Your DNA testing and the sandwich. See, you can have that bread, but maybe the bulk of that sandwich is overwhelmingly a particular slice of meat. But they're focusing on a smidgen, a thin glaze of bread. Let's say they cut a thin piece of bread. But most of the sandwich is that other piece of meat. So you're going to focus everything on one slice of the toast. And so it could be overemphasizing a particular group. Yeah, the mitochondrial DNA is, again, passed on from mom onto her children, both male and female children. The male cannot pass on the mitochondrial. The male passes on its Y DNA onto its sons. The Y DNA does not change. So they have the other component with the company African DNA, what they call the Y chromosome test for males. So what if you had all daughters and no males? So you would have to do the father's DNA or your father's brother's DNA, the male line, the direct male line who would have the same Y DNA to find out that uh, component. And again, with the Y DNA for the male, that hardly changes over the centuries through each generation. It hardly changes. It stays constant. And they're able to trace regions in the world where that Y DNA is shared. But African DNA companies saying not only that, but they could pinpoint the likelihood of what tribe it's associated with. So, so that's the company. So yes, I'll be. I supposed to be getting the test tomorrow. Yes, I can't wait till the kid comes in, and then mail it out. Yeah. So I'm really excited. I'm really excited. Yeah, I think I'm also doing the African DNA test as like a backup. Like I am putting my paperwork to relocate to Africa. Yes, I am. And I want, you know, I think that's like a backup. Um, yeah, because these days are very challenging. It's good to have as a backup possible other places where you can go to, and to actually get citizenship. I mean, what you call dual citizenship. Yeah, I don't want to change my nationality. I mean, um, yeah, whether I move or not, I'm keeping my passport. I am American, but I want to move. That's all. And so it should be really exciting. And yeah, so um, if my DNA, my mitochondrial DNA, matches any of the companies, I mean, countries that have the right of return, oh, I'm sorry, the year of return, I think it's what, yeah, the year of return. I know, see, as I mentioned, Sierra Leone and Ghana offers year of return. That means any black person of the diaspora, African diaspora, who wishes to return back to Africa, if specifically taking this company's DNA test, African DNA company, they will grant you citizenship, dual citizenship of that country. So far, I just know of those two countries, Sierra Leone and Ghana. Yeah, I do. In my, I mentioned I already did the um, ancestry D. I'm sorry, family tree DNA companies test, and yes, I do have Sierra Leone percentage and Ghana also. So, but when you talk about mitochondrial, who knows? Because it could be spread out to other countries, and again, it's according to their database who shares that particular mitochondrial signature. So I'm excited. I'm very excited, and I would love for any male relatives to do the Y chromosome and know what male part. Yeah, that. Oh, yeah, I would love to know that other half. Definitely. So, any of you who are listening, any of you ever uh, took the DNA test to find out your roots? It'd be really interesting. And what did you find? Were there any surprises? Basically, like I did the mitochondrial DNA through Family Tree DNA Company uh, 13 years ago. Yeah, and that I was surprised because I was told, like many black people in the Americas are told that you have an Indian grandmother. No, that was not true. It's just, the person was a mixed race of African and European. And I think some, um, the trend back in the day, 100 plus years ago, anybody of that mixture were often um, told that. I guess maybe, if you were brown in color but you had a very long straight hair, they would just say that. But no, in my case, I don't have any Indian DNA. Um, no, not at all. So, so because, actually, I was hesitant to do it, the mitochondrial test 13 years ago, because I said, well, I want to find out my African roots, and I'm not really interested if I have, even though I was told my Indian background, because, I mean, nothing wrong of Indian heritage, but I lived this life as a black woman and not an Indian woman, and so I didn't want to, you know, um, take a test to just to just display that I have Native American mitochondrial. But then I said to myself, I said, I have no right to ask any relative to take a DNA test to find out my African roots, my mitochondrial thing, because um, because what I thought I was, what I was told that I had. I said, no, it's not fair. You cannot ask someone to do something what you're not willing to do for yourself. Yeah, but I'll say it again. You cannot ask or demand of people to do something that you are not willing to do for yourself. You should always start with yourself in any matter. You start with yourself as a foundational starting point of your life. So I said, okay. So I bought the kit, and when I got the results back, it had the mitochondrial DNA of of a very old African line. I said, wow. So I said, boy, I guess so and so wasn't an Indian, and I was told a Carib Indian. But evidently, so I said, wait a minute. So what it could have been, okay, someone, okay, I was told my grandmother, but let's say my grandmother's father's mother was one, okay? But then I learned that wasn't the case either because I have a cousin who does genealogy, and those were African folks, and they were on that African plantation in the West Indies. Yeah, my background is from the Caribbean. Yeah, I was born and raised here. My parents were born and raised here, but my grandparents were born in the Caribbean. Okay, and so yeah, that I had a relative who did the genealogy. No, no Indian, not at all. So again, um, I think maybe it was the fashion to say if you were a mixed race with a straight hair or long straight hair, it's just like a category of to describe the person that they're not really African looking, but that's how I think that it was said, and it might have been considered embarrassing to contribute if you're a black person to attribute your looks of being modified by a European person. You know, I think that's all what it was. But anyway, so I did that DNA mitochondrial test 13 years ago. And then a couple of years later, I did the autosomal. The autosomal DNA test is like the analogy of the sandwich. So the autosomal uh, considers the meat of the sandwich, with the filling. So it takes everything, your father's side and mother's side, and then it could do a percentage of what regions your DNA covers. So that's what I have. But so now I'm to get the the African kit, the African DNA company's kit to do and to find out what tribe. Again, some things about the company I'm hesitant about. I did it, I was really, as I said in the earlier in this live stream, I was very, very happily excited when this Afro Latino from Colombia did the test and was so excited. Yeah, she's very proud of her African heritage, and she's a newscaster in Colombia, and she sports her natural African hair. She's very pro-African, and I was just so inspired by her. I said, I'm getting the test. Yes, that's what happened. I said, I'm getting it. I said, go for it. You know, and hey, as a backup, if my mitochondrial shows Sierra Leone or um, Ghana, it's an option of places that I could apply for, a visa, or in this case, they offer citizenship, dual citizenship. So you'll get a different passport. You'll have, you know, I'll keep my American passport, but you can have dual citizenship, and so they'll give you the other passport. I said, great. I mean, these days, stay flexible, people. And I say that because things are changing here in. You heard about the that announcement that was made maybe a week ago, a broadcast, a news broadcast that what to do in case a nuclear explosion happens in New York City. Could you believe that, people? Why would they do something, say something like that? Well, I think they're up to something or they know about something. So I'm saying, hey, get ready. Make sure you have your passports, your documents ready, people. I'm serious. I am serious. Yeah, you never know. You never know, you know? Um, so the third thing I want to talk about, yeah, before I forget, yeah, this I thought was very important. Uh, about a person I met. I met a woman yesterday in Central Park. I forget how the conversation started. She was a jogger, and I was with my dogs with the stroller. Maybe she might have noticed the dogs, and she was interested in the dogs and just saying hello. But we just started talking, and I thought to myself, this would be a conversation worth listening to, to hear her out. She was an Ashkenazi woman. She'll be 70 years old, and she in 2017 had visited um, East Africa, and she shared me her experience. And I said, "Wow, let me hear this lady out because I'm interested in going to the country she just went to, and I wanted to get her feedback." Sorry, I just scratched my face. Yes, I wanted to get feedback. And let me share with you. Now she seemed like a nice woman, very pleasant. But again, she is a an Ashkenazi Jewish person. Um, she works. She's a consultant. She told me she's a consultant. I think she works with a an NGO. Not, I forget what that stands for. Non-government organization. I think that's the term. And she was sharing her experience in East Africa. She went to Tanzania, and she also went to Rwanda. So I was eager to hear her out, to hear what what her experience was. She loved it. She said, "Oh, you'll love it." She's really, really nice. And she took out her cell phone. She was showing the pictures of the people there. And my concern was about the different companies or agencies or NGOs who go to Africa. And I mean, on the surface, it sounds good. I mean, I don't want to say anything negative about the woman. The woman was very pleasant. But it's just, my concern was that, see, she's one of many people who go to Africa. But they go to Africa to, they say to assist. I mean, she tried to explain what she does. But basically, it's to improve the living conditions of the people there. And she said like she was saying at one point that yeah, they have a name for white people there. Yeah, she was mentioned she was in a building, and when she came out, they have no street lights, and she got lost. She didn't know how to get home because there were no street lights over in the area where she was. This was in Tanzania, and she was scared. And these people, these young people, saw her, and they used this term for meaning white person, and they said, your husband, your husband. They knew that word, I mean, husband, husband. She's not married. But they just assumed because it was another white person, a white man, that somehow they're connected. And they brought her over to the white man. Yeah, she said they were very friendly, they're very helpful. And what I thought was interesting, that the black people, the Africans, and then this is East Africa, Tanzania, um, are very helpful towards white people. And all these kids and young people surround, when they see a white person, they use the term for a white person, and they just want to be around you. And I was just dumbified. How, I mean, East Africa had slavery. East Africa had slavery. And in fact, East Africa's slavery was even more intensive, more severe, I should say, more severe than the infamous transatlantic slave trade, where my black ancestors were taken from and brought to the Americas. Okay, so when they see a white person, and this was just in 2017, they like follow you. They're very eager to be around white people, and they were asking her to for her to buy them a ball. They said they were playing soccer, and they lost their ball, or the ball was broken, and they couldn't use it anymore. And they asked her to buy them a ball. And she did, she said. She bought them a soccer ball. Um, and she showed pictures of them playing soccer. And it's like, wow. Yeah, they're very helpful when they see a white person. And I notice also it's young black males, little children, and see like all the children. I think oftentimes like the genders between male and female are separate. It seems like every time you see a whole bunch of children, it's usually male children that I see in photos and things like that. Even on YouTube, when you watch some of those videos, um, they're very trusting, and they just surround and follow these visitors to Africa. And they don't seem to be really aware about um, why all these European or white organizations are going there, and to set up, how these people could learn to do this and that, about education. She said something about some program that she helped initiate, um, to educate. I think a school. Maybe they started a school, and she was happy to announce that 11 of the females uh, passed. They said secondary school. Yeah, I think secondary. I'm not sure what secondary school is considered. Any of you know what secondary? Does that mean high school, secondary school, whatever? Yeah, yeah. Let me know, because I don't know. So they passed secondary school, and I'm thinking to myself, as a black woman in America, why do African people need white people's help? I'm not trying to disparage the white woman who's telling me this, but I don't understand. You're in the country. I mean, these African people were there for how many centuries? And how come the basics like education, getting clean water, um, getting your own football, why do they have to have white people do this for them. And that's my concern. And it's like they think that any white person, it almost seems as though white people are synonymous to they're going to give you a freebie. And so they trust them. But after all this slavery, and they had a lot of slavery on on East Africa, they had it. It's like they don't teach the people, the children, about safety. Just because someone gives you free water or free this or that doesn't make them your friend. I'm not trying to say this woman was trying to deceive anybody. No, I'm not saying that. But I'm just saying, as a whole, because she was mentioning about other organizations there in Tanzania. I said Tanzania, I meant to say Zanzibar. It's a little island off the coast of Tanzania. It's called Zanzibar, and this other little island right next to Zanzibar, and that was an infamous island. Yeah, they did massive, massive slave trading there. You got to teach your children. Any Africans in the house here? If you know any Africans, any East Africans, please teach your children, be wary of these people that come by, any European, any white person, or even Arabs who come by and want to give you something. Be careful, because remember what happened. You could have been, that you remember in the past, you got taken. Slavery happened on the East Coast for many years, East Africa for a very long time. And I think it was longer than the transatlantic slave trade. Why don't you warn your children, your male children in particular? They are people, remember, people are being kidnapped these days. There is human trafficking going on now. People are kidnapping people all over the planet. And you have these little kids running around and seeing these white people. And I'm not trying to say that all white people, I'm not saying that. But you don't know this lady or this man. You don't know them. And you're having and allowing your children to walk up to a stranger because they're white, and you're allowing them to ask them for whatever what it was, so they can get that football. Isn't your life more valuable than a football? Your safety is not your. Am I speaking the truth, people? Yes or no out there? Am I speaking the truth? Would I want, if I had a child here in New York City, to have them run up to any white person? Oh, I can't afford this. Mothers and fathers, save your money and buy your own kids what they need. Save up your money. There's a price to pay to be trusting of certain people. And it can cost them their life. And there was also yesterday when I was watching that the video about a person who was to take the African DNA company's test. He was a researcher. What do you call it? A genealogist. Yeah, he was a genealogist. He is a genealogist, living in America, a black fellow, and his oral tradition. He was able to find documents that one of his relatives that he came directly from Africa. He was some census was taken, and it said that that particular ancestor, that one particular person, they got from Africa itself. And oh, what was the thing about it now? Oh, I don't want to. Oh, he said in his oral history, he said his great grand, I think he said his grandmother's grandmother told him a story. Yeah, okay, okay. Wait a minute. He had a grandmother, and that grandmother remembers her grandmother telling her when she was a little child that one day she was with her mom, and then they she might have been told she was going on a trip, but guess what? She was being taken to the Americas to be sold as a slave. The mother was very upset. She remembers, and she went on board the ship, and she said never saw her mother again. She was like 7 years old when she was taken. And I thought to myself, oh my goodness, to have that in your family history, to your oral history, and you were never seen again. You never saw your mother again. To just be taken. I mean, just imagine the grief. And what was the circumstances? Why didn't they take the mother along with the kid? I mean, what was she? You know what they didn't say. Was she being sold by the mother? Because you do have parents in Africa who give up their kids to pay for food. And this is something that happens now, people. I was watching some years ago on YouTube. I was watching a program. African man, I forget what country in Africa, but it was a fishing village. And the mother just couldn't afford food for herself and the kids. So she offers her kid to this man, and the man gave her some money. It was a black, it was another African man, but he was brutal. And he explained on camera that when he was a little boy, that he was abused and beaten and forced to do fishing. They have these fishing nets, and his job was to dive underwater to get the fish or whatever. And he's bragging. He said, "Oh boy, maybe I can get a lot of people to work under me, to enslave them." And they showed one of the kids that he used. This kid might have been maybe 6 years old. And I kid you not, people, this kid looked like he lifted weights. He was a little miniature kid, a small kid, but his muscles were extremely well defined, as if he was a weightlifter. I kid you not, people. And his job was to dive underwater. But a lot of times the kids get caught in the nets and they drown. And he would beat the children. I mean, he's saying this himself, this adult man. And see how some people don't learn in Africa, because many of them are short-sighted. They just look at the immediate need. They want food. Oh, okay, let me sell my kids. And this is happening now. This is not 200, 300, 400, 500 years ago. This is happening now. They can't afford the kids. They don't have money to buy food for the kids. So they they sell their children to an adult in the community, whatever. And he gives her some money. That money's only going to maybe last for a couple of days, and she's back to square one. Awful, awful, awful. And and I'm wondering, so when you're always in a state of hunger, the desperation that could happen. And I'm sad about this. And I'm confused about Africa with all its resources, but it's not tapping into the resources in the way that so called Europeans do. It's a different lifestyle, it seems, in Africa. It seems like the modern day African is, I mean, the true African seems to, they're connected to the land. They live in harmony with nature. But unfortunately, it was a new system was introduced to it, a system that requires money, money, currency. And I believe back in the day they used like an exchange, bartering. People bartered in the past, but now people are relying on money for an exchange. Sorry, the power is getting lower. Yeah. So Africa is being exploited. And I'm sure it's not just Africa. I'm sure many parts of Asia, same thing. And they live the way that their ancestors lived long time ago, but now it's been um, changed a little bit and introduced a new system of doing commerce, of doing trade. And unfortunate, it's clashing with their ability to sustain themselves. I'm sure education is important, but now it's like they're not learning how to sustain themselves the way that their ancestors are. I mean, I can't figure it out. So you're going to rely on a European type system of education. What about the basic education? How to fish? How to build a house by using mud and uh, wood, things like that. You know, I mean, people are learning. People aren't learning their craft. They're not teaching the craft of how they build basic structures. How do they get their water? How do they get basic things? How do they get their water? It's like, man, it just staggers me. And I feel sorry. I feel sad. I'm not trying to be picky, the Western picky girl. No, I'm just confused. Africa is Africa. And you have outsiders. And again, that lady that I was just talking about, the Ashkenazi woman, the Jewish woman, and the organization that she works with is another Jewish organization working in a black Muslim community in Tanzania and Rwanda. And it just was like a red flag. I'm sure she was a nice lady. She's like a very friendly lady, but why are they doing what they? She was only there for 4 months, Tanzania and Rwanda. But why do you have people of a different religion, different nationality, different everything, preoccupied with certain things? If they're so interested in teaching African people how to build, how, how, I'm just very skeptical. Or are they trying to transform the African so they could control them, to take their resources, to swindle them out of their natural resources? That's my fear. That is my fear. Please, anybody from Tanzania or Rwanda who are listening, or if you know people from Tanzania or Rwanda, warn them about these NGOs, these organizations. Be careful of whites or Jewish organizations who are preoccupied with how you educate your children. They're going to, I'm scared for you. Just because someone gives you free food, a free football to play with, doesn't make them your friend. That they could be trying to get your trust, people. How do you think the European got into Africa? That they made you trust them. And when it was too late, they controlled you, your land, and your resources, and the slave trade. That is a reality. People are still being kidnapped all over the world. They're doing organ harvesting. They're using children for the sex trade. Please, please stop having your male children, especially, running after these white people for a free handout. Stop it. The Jewish woman is showing me pictures on her phone. All these little kids following her, or playing, want to play ball with her and everything. Come on, stop trusting and protect your children. Protect your resources. Your children are your resources. And people could take advantage off of them and your little girls. Stop it and handle your own affairs. Handle your own education, your own programs. Find out. Find out about these NGOs. Who are these people? And if they love black people so much, find out what countries they live in and how they treat black people where they're from. This is a fair request. A fair request. Be careful and definitely pass this on. It's okay to be friendly, but protect your children. Examine them. Examine these people. Check out their organization. Check out if there was any complaints about the organization. Don't send your children alone with these people and you'll never get them back. Stop the foolishness. Africans should be smarter than this. After all these years of people stealing you from your land. Slavery has not ended. So those are the three things I wanted to talk about, okay? Oh, before I go, my battery's going to run out soon. But I did in the beginning of this live stream, I have a song that I wanted to play. I can't find the name of the song. I don't know the name of the song. I used a phone app to try to find out the name of the tune. I'm going to play it. And if you guys could recognize the tune. Oops, sorry. Had my hand over the. Oops. Had my hand over the mic. Yeah. Let me know if you know the name of this song. Oops. Oh, I just. Sorry. Sorry. Okay. Wait a minute. I just. My finger. Okay. I'm going to play this. Oops. What's going on? Oops. Oops. Sorry. Well, let me play again. Wait. Oops. Sorry. Okay. You know this piece? Boy, I'm having difficulty playing up. I want to play it long enough so you can get the tune. Okay. Oops. Trying to turn it up. Yeah, that's the piece. That's the piece. I love it. If anybody knows the name of that song, I did use Music ID phone app. It could not identify it. If any of you know it, I'm going to play it one more time. Let me see if I can do it again. Can anybody identify it? Beautiful. Okay, that's it. Yeah. I love that. Isn't that beautiful? Isn't that beautiful? Yeah, so I played that song the beginning of this live stream. Name that tune, please. People, I don't listen to a lot of music. In fact, I don't listen to music at all, really. But I was put on hold to get this. I called up somebody and they put me on hold and they played that song while I waited. And I got my phone to record it. I love it. I like the simplicity of it, and then it has the African. It's called syncopation. I love syncopation. That little beat in the background. That's syncopation. Very very African in its origin. I love that kind of music. I love that. Yeah. Those of you who are music enthusiasts, if you know someone who's a music enthusiast, to me it sounds Brazilian, like Brazilian jazz, um, or Afro Caribbean beat. It's like a jazz. I love it. Yeah, please find out for me. Any of you who are real savvy, I try to identify it and bought not bought. I downloaded an app on my phone to those apps that could identify anything playing, music playing in the background. Let's say you're in a supermarket and you hear music, you take out the app and you turn it on and it could identify. I did try another song, known song, and it was able to identify it in 10 seconds. But this one, it must not be, it's definitely not mainstream. And so, oh, I love it. Don't you like it? I love it. So I want to get that song, and if I'm feeling kind of down, whatever, I could dance to it. Yeah, I was pretending to. Yeah, I was dancing with my little dog. That's Lily. Yeah, I picked up. We were dancing to it. And fun. It was fun. Yeah. So yeah, if you can name that tune for me, find out the artist who plays that song. Yeah, I want to get it. I think it's a pretty song. And also talked about I'm going to get the African DNA tests, that company, African DNA, and find out what tribe. I mean, I don't believe everything about it, the company, but my hearing that story on YouTube with that Afro-Colombian woman, excuse me, Afro-Colombian woman. She's a newscaster, and she goes on television with her Afro texture hair. Yep, she had on African fabric. Yeah, she embraces her African heritage. And I was so excited for her. And so, I mean, I've heard of African DNA Company for years, but I didn't really care about them. You know, I used a different company. But I said, hey, if their technique, if they've been around this long and they could really try to pinpoint, I mean, only thing they could really pinpoint is uh, the match who shares that that mitochondrial DNA pattern. You know, it might be more than one location that shares that mitochondrial pattern, and so what tribe they're associated with. That's all they can really do. But either way, I took the plunge, and I supposed to be getting the kit tomorrow. Yeah, I did a 2-day express mail. Yep, I just ordered it yesterday afternoon. Yep, supposed to be getting it Monday. Um, so I'm gonna do, yeah, I might do a little video, me getting the kit and see what happens, you know. And then the last thing I talked about was about the woman that I met in Central Park. It was a white Jewish woman, an Ashkenazi Jew, and she shared her experience in East Africa. She was in both Tanzania and Rwanda. She said she loved it there. She was only there for 4 months. She was part of an organization to as a consultant. You know, she does consultant and some program that she was implementing there. And yeah, so I gave warnings about having your children run around people that they don't know and that you can get kidnapped. And to be, you know, just because someone gave you something for free doesn't make them your friend, and to use wisdom. And yes, use wisdom. Use wisdom. And not every black person who's there is your enemy. It's like you trust these white people or Jewish people who come by and want to open this school or that school. Be wary. You know, there's an expression, beware of Greeks who bear gifts. That is an expression. Beware of Greeks who bear gifts. And this is not a poo-poo on people from Greece, but it is a expression that's used based on the Trojan horse. In ancient Greece, there was a story about what was that? There was a war, and the people had put this horse, this wooden horse, as a gift. They made a wooden horse to give to this other country. But inside that wooden horse were troops. And when they got into the other country's territory, they sneaked out and killed everybody. So that's where it comes from. Beware of Greeks who bear gifts, because there's strings attached. There's strings attached. Be careful and keep your children at home, close to you, because they could be taken. Teach your children to, you know, because see, they went to the lady, the Jewish woman, and asked her to buy them a ball. Tell your children to save their money and buy their own ball, and stop going up to white people or Jewish people asking them for money or for them to buy a gift. Stop it. Stop it. Have dignity. Teach your children dignity, please. It could cost them their life. And then you wonder, where are your children? Remember, in New York City, we used to have this announcement on television at night. It said, "Do you know where your children are? Do you know where your children are?" Yes, that was back in the 80s, 1980s, because children, I guess, were being missing or being outside doing mischief. Keep your young children at home. Teach them skills at home. Teach them. You don't need white people to help you with everything. Teach yourself. Read a book. I don't know. Use your resources. Come on. Come on. I'm tired of seeing African people, black people being victims. And then you start killing yourself. All throughout New York City, you have all these black people killing themselves, killing other black people. It's wild. It's like you trust everybody but your own. It's sad. It's sad. The real enemy could be in the form of the angel of light. Not everything that glistens is gold. Be more discerning. That's what I'm saying. Yeah, there's a price to pay for anything out there, especially if they say it's free. Okay, they could be just going in, setting up an infrastructure, and then remove your resources. And then you have to forever beg for them for survival. Stop it. Yeah. I hope I'm making sense to you people out there. It seems to be a quiet, yeah, no one's saying anything in the comment area. But yeah, this is my message for today. It looks like a beautiful day, but I'm going to stay indoors. It's going to be in the in the mid 90s today, 90s Fahrenheit, that is. And yeah, it's hot. So I'm just going to stay in, I think, and enjoy my day. Maybe I do my little boy's haircut. Yeah, I did my girls. I have to do my boy. I have to shave him down a little bit. Yeah. So I thank you again for sharing this live stream with me. Yeah. So if you know the name of that song, name that tune, please put it, in the, if you get the name, you can write it in the comment section of this live stream when it uploads. Yeah, let me know. You can email me with the information of the name of the song. And oh, a real quick note out there, since there's some people in the chat room of viewing. Yeah, I need help about. I'm trying to find an airlines that allow flat-faced dogs. Yeah, you know those dogs that have the pushed-in face. Yeah, two of my dogs are flat-faced, and many airlines don't accept them. Yeah, I'm trying to arrange my flight to move abroad. Yes, I'm trying to arrange everything to move abroad.